Okay, so I'm gonna start recording for network security groups and inspecting traffic between Azure Virtual Machines. This is mostly for uh, GitHub for my portfolio. So it's gonna be I'm always practicing this, so it should be good for anyone who wants to learn how to create two virtual machines that will communicate to each other. One is gonna be Windows, and the other one is gonna be Linux. So, and we're gonna do all the traffic examination of that. So, should be a good one. So, for starters, I'm assuming at this point you have a Microsoft Azure account. I don't have a subscription with them yet. I'm currently in my free Azure subscription that has like some money still in there. So create a free account. You should be getting a $200 free account for starting your first Azure account. So, anyways, back resource group is the one that we're gonna start with. Uh, Create the resource group. The resource group, we are gonna call it um, lab 2 uh, with virtual machines, whatever. So we go next. We go review and create all the way to review and create. Create. And it's going to create a virtual environment for us, a resource group. And now we're going to go straight into virtual machines. We're going to create two virtual machines, like I said earlier. We are going to always try to find the resource group. So always make sure your resource group and your region and your VNet or your virtual network are matching, because if not, you might run into problems. This one, we are going to call this one the Linux Virtual Machine 1. And for some reason, this is not working for me right now in this version. I don't know what's going on. It keeps not giving me the machine. So, sorry. Let's try to do this again. Linux version machine 1. So we're going to go to Zone 2. Zone 3 apparently is the only one that can carry this for me. And we're going to look for the Ubuntu machine. We've been working with Ubuntu machine 22.04. We're going to use the two CPUs, 8 GB memory. This should be sufficient. We're gonna call our user. We're gonna not use the SSH public key. We're gonna use a password, and we're gonna call it lab user. And we're gonna name this CyberLab. CyberLab 123. You can do whatever password you feel like. I just have been working with this password so much that it's literally the intuition at this point. Networking. We're gonna create actually one, so we're just gonna call it lab 2 vnet. There you go, lab 2 vnet. Everything else should be fine, so you go okay. And then review and create. Create. And it should start deploying it. Okay. And this one is our Linux one, so it should start creating things, and it should start dropping all of these things inside your resource group. So if we went to our resource group real quick, let's see if it loads it. So it starts doing this network watcher, but it also starts putting things inside of it. So here's our Linux machine, stuff like that. So okay, so our deployment is ready. All right, let's go home. Let's go to virtual machines. And I'm going to create another one. Always in the same research group. So lab 2 VM. Let's call this one Windows VM. VM for virtual machine. So zone 1, zone 3. Now we go, same thing, we're gonna use 2 vCPUs and 8 gigabytes of memory. We're not using Ubuntu though. Make sure to change the image if you're gonna use a different one, and we're gonna use Windows 10 Pro. And here we're gonna call it again lab user. Cyber lab 1 2 3 exclamation point. Cyber lab 1 2 3 exclamation point. Okay, confirm. I just want to make sure that we're connected to the same VNet. I don't know why it's not using the, why is it not giving me the other VNet? Let me try to reload this page maybe. So, yep, lab 2 VNet should be existing. So, that works. Yep, it's there. Okay, so maybe just let me reload Azure real quick for this. Okay. Nope, not resource groups, sorry. So virtual machines again, let's do this one more time. Maybe that fixes it now. You'll have 2, Windows, zone 3 in my case at least. I don't know why it's doing that necessarily. It's 10 Pro, 2, at least 2 vCPUs, lab user, cyber lab 1 2 3 exclamation point, cyber lab 1 2 3 exclamation point. Next. Oh, there it is. All right, so now we go review and create. Create. All right, it should start deploying this one as well. This is going to be our Windows machine, the one that we're actually going to be working most of this project in. So, okay. All right, we're just letting it load as of right now. Okay, that took a little bit longer than expected. All right, so we got our 2 virtual machines. Huh. Why does it look like that? It's the same one. I don't know why that one looks a little bit different. Oh, there it goes. It adjusted. I don't know what that was. Okay, anyways, so now we're gonna go into our Windows virtual machine. So let's copy this, let's put it in there, and we're gonna go for more choices. This is gonna be lab user, cyber lab 1 2 3 exclamation point. Okay, and you're gonna click yes. All right, we're running the virtual machine now. It's showing me lab user. Okay, we're gonna give it a second for it to load and to open the machine. Okay, so we're back. So we're taking everything else that we don't really need right now. It's not gonna matter for us. So we take everything out. Should open the virtual machine. Perfect. Okay. Let's just let it boot for a few seconds. There we go. Okay, nope. Let's close that, and we open the browser now. Within the browser, we're gonna try to find Wireshark. Wireshark is like it's what it's gonna allow us to inspect traffic and stuff like that. What's it called? They call it Wireshark, the network traffic analyzer. It's a network traffic analyzer. So, oh, not that. What the hell? This. So, network traffic analyzer. We're gonna download the first one. Okay. Wait for it to load. In China covered. All right. Okay, cool. Now we can open it. Just click it once. It'll take a little bit to open up, so just wait for it. All right. We go next, next, noted, next, 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 next. A lot of next, 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 next. All right. We'll let it load for a second there. Okay. So from here, we're gonna agree, install. Let that run for a second. It shouldn't take too long. It's pretty fast, usually. Okay, still waiting for it to finish. Never mind, it takes a while. Okay. Perfect. Now next, finish. It's still gonna finish the installation for Wireshark. That really shouldn't take that long, honestly. I opened this twice, so close one of them. All right, next, finish. And we can close this. All right, now let's go to Wireshark in our browser. Not in our browser, in our start search bar. Okay. Let it boot up. All right, and what for our intent of purposes, we're gonna inspect only the Ethernet things. So as of right now, we see a lot of spam happening. We're just gonna real quick just filter for ISMP traffic. That's what we want to inspect right now, ISMP traffic. And now, so from here, we're gonna open PowerShell. We're gonna open PowerShell. Maybe I'll edit this so that way it looks a little bit better on the screen. Font 220. Okay. We open PowerShell, and now we need to look for the private IP address of the Linux machine. So the Ubuntu machine. So we're gonna leave this, not close it. We're just gonna leave. We're gonna go to a Linux VM. And we're gonna look for its private IP address. Just add that to yourself. And now we go back to the remote. And from here, we go and write ping 10.4.0.0.4, 10.0.0.0.4. Click, and as you can see, it's communicating with the ISMP. Through the ISMP traffic. It's communicating with both computers. So source 005 is gonna be our Windows computer, and it's destination 004. They're basically communicating to each other, and as you can see, it's back and forth. So 004 source all the way to 005. So they do it for like 8 times, so they repeat the same message, which is like a bunch of squibbles and hi. So they're just communicating, making sure that the connection is happening. So now we're gonna do ping the same account, the same thing, and we're gonna do T. This is gonna activate a proprietary non-stop perpetual non-stop ping, so that way the Ubuntu machine, they don't stop pinging. They'll keep pinging indefinitely until you decide to stop it. So they'll keep communicating back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As you can see, you don't see here in the screen the the Windows machine, you see it here, because here you can see what the traffic is happening. Here you just see one-sided things, so you can only see what you're doing, whereas in this you can see what both things are doing. So from here, now we're gonna leave this running for now, and we're gonna leave again, and we're gonna go to Linux VM. Okay, so we're gonna go from Linux, and we're gonna scroll to, and we're gonna choose network settings, and down there you're gonna scroll down and find the create port rule in the rules. So create port inbound. So now we're gonna leave this in any. This is gonna be any. That asterisk is gonna be any. Destination for any. Custom service for this. The port ranges is gonna be any port ranges, because ISMP communication does not have protocols, and we're gonna select the ISMP. And now we're gonna deny it. And we're gonna change the priority rules, so that way it's like the first rule that happens. I'm gonna put it to 90. Okay, and now we go back to the virtual machine. You're gonna start seeing that it's timing out. The communication is not happening. What this happened is because of the firewall, it's now rejecting every single communication coming from going towards the Linux computer. So anything that is trying to communicate with Linux, especially from ISMP traffic, is not letting it happen. It's canceling it, it's rejecting it. So now what we can do is just go back, and we can go back to the ports, and we can actually close it. Oh, sorry. You can go here, and you can erase it. Okay, once that's erased, we can go back to our virtual machine, and you'll see that the communication is starting to happen again. All right, so that showed us a little bit of the firewall things that can happen. So it'll stop working, and now it's starting to work again. If you can literally cancel ports and cancel communications, so it's always useful to know. So now we're gonna do Control-C to stop this craziness from happening. We're gonna clear this so that way it looks clean. All right, so now we are gonna go ahead and start looking at SSH traffic. So we also can clear this out, continue without saving. And now we are still filtering for ISMP, so SSH traffic. Okay, make sure to enter. And okay, so what we're gonna do is we're now gonna connect to the Ubuntu machine through SSH traffic, just to show you guys how we can see that. So now let's go ahead and do this. It was in PowerShell. You're gonna go SSH lab user at, and what you're gonna put inside of this is gonna be the private IP address of your Ubuntu or Linux machine. So in my case, it's 10.0.0.4, and I believe we could be good to go. And it's gonna start generating SSH traffic in the back. Authentication, yes, please. And my password, cyberlab123 exclamation point. As you can see, it's not writing what I'm typing, but rest assured it is typing behind it, like it's doing it in the system. All right, and we're in. And as you can see, we changed now into the Linux VM. So we're inside our virtual machine, but we're also controlling the Linux VM inside of this. So we can just go ahead and try host name, and it says Linux. And as you can see, something that you can see from this Wireshark, is that anything that I type in here is going to start creating communication. So let's say I type SSD, SSD, SSD. You see, it's creating a lot of things, and if I erase it, it will also do it. So it's like sending communication constantly to the Linux machine and vice versa, so that way everything is being communicated. So let's say if I SD, and it's gonna do it, and if I erase it SD, it's gonna communicate vice versa. So yeah, that is the SSH communication between the two within my virtual machine, Windows virtual machine. And we can exit this just by writing exit. And now we're back. So host user. Oh, sorry. Not host user, host name. Sorry. Host name. VM. So Windows VM back again. All right, let's clear all this stuff out. And as you can see, all of this all happened through SSH. All right, now let's clear all this out. Let's clear out SSH. And now we're gonna do DHCP traffic. And for that, I'm actually gonna have to do a little notepad thing, because I've tried this in the past and I was not able to read it. So now I've been used to doing this. So we're gonna create a file with ipconfig. So it's ipconfig /release. ipconfig /renew. All right, just make sure that it's written correctly. I'm going to save this. Okay, and so from here we're going to go ahead and write program. I think it's C. Program data. Oh shoot, I didn't even see that. I didn't even put the slash right there. So from here, program data. All right, we're gonna change this to all files, and we're gonna call this dhcp.bat. And all right, and we're gonna save it, and we can now close this. Let me check that I'm an admin here. Yep. So now we are gonna navigate to cd, change directory to C/program data. Now we're inside program data. We're gonna do ls to see the list, and there's dhcp.bat down. And we're gonna go /dhcp.bat. And what this would do is gonna run the little commands that I did. It's gonna do the configure release, and it's gonna release the IP address that the system has, and then it's gonna renew, and the DHCP communication. We're gonna be able to see the DHCP communication happen. So let's go. And let's see. All right, and I lost connection to the machine because the release basically cuts everything, so I lose completely the communication to it. So we're gonna just let it happen and let it roll until it comes back for me. Oh, as you can see, it's doing it again. It's reconnecting. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. All right, and it brought us back, but it created the traffic. So let's analyze this traffic. So as you can see, the source, which is our Windows machine, talked to the destination, releasing the IP address, the private IP address, and now I have no IP address from the source, and now it's discovering from the DHCP It's communicating with the destination source. The destination source is offering an IP address to the machine. The machine is requesting it, and the other and the DHCCP and the destination source is granting it. And now I have a new IP address. I don't think it should change my Windows IP address, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check real quick. Let's go to virtual machines. So it didn't change it here. But it shows. So yeah. But if you can, as you can see, like it released it. Like I was saying, it released it. The broadcast server communicated with my computer. It discovered it. It offered it. My computer requested it. The broadcaster acknowledged it and gave me a new IP address. Which, if I go ipconfig, it's probably just gonna be the same. So yeah, that's the same IP address that if I go out of here and I go here, it's gonna be that. So yeah, it keeps the same. So that's how DHCP grants you an IP address. Okay, so now let's go back to Wireshark. Let's clear everything out. Let's try now doing DNS traffic. This should be interesting to see. This is going to show you what the computer is doing in the background. So it's going to be telling you what it's doing in the background, where the computer doesn't see, let's say, google.com or disney.com. The computer sees the IP address in binary, so it communicates with the zeros and the ones. So all of this, it's happening in the background. You don't see this happen unless you go out of your way and looking in Wireshark or something and see this. So for this intensive purposes, let's just try something like ns look up disney.com. I don't know how to write. My goodness. Disney.com. All right. And as you can see all this DNS traffic communicating between each other. This is Azure server probably. And here we have Disney, and it's showing you our IP address. We can copy this and go to the browser, and probably it's not going to work because it's not a direct link. As you can see, it shows something that has to do with Disney, but it's not going to be like, I cannot do anything here unless, and if I go ahead and search, I don't know, Lion King, it's going to redirect me to Disney. So it does, it won't work if you go straight from the IP address because, yeah, it won't work like that. All right, and lastly, let's just go to, we're gonna clear everything out. We're gonna go like this. We're gonna go TCP dot port. Port equals 3389. And as you can see, there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of traffic going on, but why is it that? It's because we are using the communication of the VM. This is all VM virtual machine traffic, so it always is constantly showing you a live stream of the computer. It's always transmitting, even if I'm not moving. It's always going to be sending a picture through like a live stream, like always showing you a live stream. There shouldn't be, unless there's like hiccups and something on your live screen. This should always be doing data processing. Always, and it's gonna go indefinitely. You can see that I'm capturing 3,200 packets, and it's gonna still be doing it, and you're gonna still be seeing this, especially because we're in the remote directory or virtual machine. So yeah, All right, and that should conclude most of my project, my research here. We're gonna close this out. One thing that you want to always try to do is always try to clean up. Don't keep everything here, because it's gonna charge you if you have your virtual machines, your resource group. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and erase the resource groups. Is the most direct way to erase. Is the most direct way to erase everything. So go ahead and erase your resource group. I'll erase this one too. So that way we don't get charged for anything of these, because I'm not going to be using this anymore. So yeah, refresh until the resource groups are gone. And that should conclude everything. Just do the cleanup and try to play around with all of these traffics. They're very interesting to keep an eye on and keep learning from. Thank you.